All right, it's been a minute since you seen my face, at least. A lot of things have been changing around, new people here and there, but we are back. The gray area, we are back this year. The goal is to be more consistent, and with that, I have somebody new I would like to introduce. To my left, we got the new host of TMP's Gray Area, Rosalind.
Hey.
Just tell them a little bit about yourself real quick.
Hey, I'm Rosalind Gorham. I'm 17 years old. I'm a senior in high school. I'm homeschooled. I help run the True North social media. I love all things media. Yeah, I also play music.
Other words, nothing but a good time. Okay? And this is the first episode with who we got for the first episode?
We got Ashley with us for the first episode, so that's
stay
exciting.
tuned.
Yeah.
Yeah, random. Like, what were you doing last night?
That's not random.
It's not? What?
I may have gone to get ice cream with somebody last night.
Oh, like a friend, like a good, like, little bestie, good
I mean,
girl time. Oh, he. Okay. Mm-hmm.
He was a friend.
Was. Scary.
He is a friend. He may have had some other intentions, but those weren't made clear, so I'm not saying it was a date. But
you're not saying it's not a date.
I don't have any proof that it was, so.
Wow. Okay, well, that's an exciting Wednesday night. Is it Wednesday church night? What were you doing with a boy on a church night?
So, first of all, it was after his youth group because he's a youth leader.
So it was like sanctified. Got it.
Absolutely. But
Yeah.
I have youth group on Thursday, so I have my youth group tonight.
Oh,
so.
That's so true. And I even knew that. Wow.
Hey, that's okay.
Woof. Well, it's like the Romeo and Juliet, two different student groups.
But
I don't know how you're going to make it work because
it's not going to work out. That's
just
okay.
So there's something to work out or not work out.
There's something to not work out, I guess.
But you said
there's
not
not
going to work
out because there wasn't something in the first place.
I'm getting mixed signals. I really hope he's not because
I think I'm the one receiving the mixed signals.
You're not giving them?
No, because
Okay.
my intentions were made very clear.
Okay.
That I was just friends, you know?
But you still were like, hey, I'm cool to go one-on-one on an ice cream
No. He
social
suggested it.
with the...
It just didn't. No. But anyways, speaking of relationships, today we were talking about relationships. I put up a Q&A on the Instagram yesterday asking questions about what you guys have questions about. And we had some pretty good feedback. So I think we're just going to go through some of those.
Hit me. Relationships are definitely a hot topic these days. So
especially with Valentine's Day coming up.
So true. Yeah.
So it's very like all the singles are really feeling it and all the people in relationships are just like all over each other.
Such all over each other.
Like they're like obsessed because it's like Valentine's Day.
Like, who are you saying all over each other?
I have lots of friends in relationships, so
gasp.
I know.
Wow. Okay, cool.
But first of all, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you started working at Live the Life.
Awesome. Well, okay, I'm Ashley Briggs, and I am, just a humble lady looking for more information on relationships, which really made me dive deeper into research and the brain and how relationships work and skills for relationships. And that just gave me a passion, which, works perfectly with Live the Life, where our mission is to strengthen marriages and families through that relationship education. So that's, something that I was passionate about. I was able to kind of focus on here. So that kind of led me into that arena. And then also, other factor, my dad started the whole thing 50 million years ago, and so I've been a part of it. Yeah, a little plug. So I've been a part of it since I was born. But even still, even being a part of a organization that teaches relationship education and how to have strong marriages and how to have strong relationships, even I did it completely wrong. So that just also spurred me on to okay, how do you actually do this the right way? And what are the things that people need to know to have successful, healthy relationships?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a little bit about me.
Well, that's awesome. So let's go ahead and get into the questions.
Hit me. Let's do it.
Okay, so the first question is, how do I navigate a friend who's in a relationship with a boy that isn't seeking the Lord? So like as a friend on the sidelines being like, I know that the guy you're dating is not loving the Lord, and how do I approach that, like being a good friend and not just being like, your boyfriend sucks.
Yeah, like
you know?
instead of being judgy, like
yeah.
supportive, but towards a better goal. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a great question.
It really is.
So I would say your first question to your friend, because obviously when you're in a relationship and it's new, there's all kind of brain chemicals going off, and they're like literally addicted to this person, which in God's creation, like the way that God created, like that is a good thing. But if they're getting addicted to the wrong person, that could be a bad thing. So what I would say is start with like, okay, what are your like plans with this person? Like, is this like just a fun thing you're doing for the now? Is this something like, are you intentionally dating them with thoughts of marriage? Like, where do you see this relationship going? And kind of like let them answer. And if they say like, oh, it's just a fun thing for right now, then I mean, there's not really much you can do because they're not really looking for something longer term.
Yeah.
But if they are like, okay, I really want to like, I see myself marrying this person and all that kind of stuff. Okay. So if you see yourself marrying this person and you want to have that long-term relationship with them, how will that look if they're not a Christian? How will your marriage look? How will raising kids work? How will having different kinds of Sundays, like you probably won't spend your Sundays together. You'll be at church. He'll be doing whatever. So kind of having them think towards that future of, okay, if this was to continue on for the long term, what does that look like? And then kind of gauging their response. Like if they're like, oh, well, you know, we'll get there when we get there. That's something that I hear a lot of people say in relationships. Oh, well, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But the way that you are now, and the way that you act now, the way that you set up your values, the way that you have boundaries right now, that's how your relationship will be in 5 years, 10 years, however long you want to be with this person. So set up right now what you want in that futuristic like life that you want for yourself. So that's kind of some of the things I would say to someone who's in that relationship.
Yeah, that's a great answer. Okay, here's a big one. Why don't guys just ask out girls anymore? I feel like everything is so casual. At least for me, like I'm single. I'm 17 years old. I'm a senior in high school. And I have never had a guy just be like, hey, can I take you to go get coffee? Like, can we just go hang out? Or like, hey, I think you're really cute. Let's go do something. Like, why don't they do that anymore? What do you think?
No, that is a great, great question. I think that is something that we've lost. Like there's a risk. Obviously, there is risk. When you ask someone out, you are putting yourself out there and you're saying, I'm willing to take this risk because I would like to take you out. And, you know, that's obviously what a girl wants. She wants to feel like, oh my gosh, I'm worth that risk.
Absolutely.
And, you know, sometimes you're going to want to be asked and sometimes you're not going to want to be asked. But I think today's culture has kind of elevated things like video games or social media, and everything is like instant gratification where I can look at someone that's really beautiful and not have to have their either consent or like them even know about it, and I'm getting that dopamine of, oh wow, this is a beautiful person I get to look at. Or, you know, even stuff like pornography, like you can have that sexual, you know, exploitation of someone and not even need to be in the same room as them. And so you have all of these things that are contributing to, why would a guy put himself out there for a risk when he has all of these other options available to him that wouldn't make him feel rejected, that wouldn't make him feel like he's not good enough. And so we've kind of set them up for failure because we haven't given them a better reason to not go to those things. Like, you know, not saying that every girl has to say yes to every guy, but I think it would probably be healthy for us to, you know, limit our time on social media, limit what we put out there on social media, and like have more interactions face to face with guys and girls, obviously, because girls, they do asking too. But I mean, I don't know. I just think it's such a high risk and potentially low reward for the guy, whereas he has that low risk, high reward other places. So I'd love to see guys come back and just have that courage and bravery and masculine, like that's a God-given masculine urge to go to ask a girl out. And I think that I just love to see that return, but I don't know how to do that.
Yeah. What would you say as an encouragement to those guys who's like, I
Yeah.
kind of like this girl, but like, I don't know if it's gonna work out. Like, I'm scared. Like, I hear a lot of guys be like, I'm scared of women, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
But like, what would you say as an encouragement to those guys?
That's a great question. So I think I would say that your fear is bigger than what would actually happen. Like sometimes I tell people who have a lot of anxiety issues or fear issues, like play it out to a logical conclusion. So you ask a girl out and she says no. Like that's in your mind, that's like the worst thing that could possibly happen. Like maybe even like making fun of you. Okay. So play that out to a logical conclusion. Like, okay, she said no, you're not going on a date. Like, she's not the only person in the world. There's someone else. And so just realizing like your identity is not in what someone else says about you or someone else accepting you or someone else wanting to go out with you. Your identity is in Christ, right?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
if you have that identity, like come from that identity, like women, we love confidence. You know what I mean? Where I don't want someone coming like, oh, well, if you want to go out, maybe we could, or like, sneakily asking me
Just
out on an ice cream date, or making it seem like a hangout, but then we get there and it's one-on-one. You know what I mean? Like we don't need manipulation. Like I'll speak for myself. I want someone that is confident, knows what they want, wants to come after me. And like, that's something I respect. So I would just say, guys, like that is a God-given right for you to have that leadership, to have confidence and to know that, I'm God's chosen son. And so I can walk forward knowing that no matter what that girl says, I'm still saved. I'm still a child of God. Yeah, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay. Here's a big one. Why is every guy addicted to porn? Do you think it's even a true statement?
Oh my gosh, that's a good, yeah. I think that it is a highly prevalent, highly toxic, erosive thing for relationships. But I do not think every guy is addicted to pornography. So I understand where that person is coming from. Like, oh man, there's just no one out there and none of them are good. And like, obviously it does feel that way. Cause again, we just talked about how guys are not doing a great job of pursuing women and like all of these other avenues they have to pursue that might seem higher reward. But I would just say like there are awesome guys out there and there are awesome men. You're gonna say, oh, where are they?
Yeah, I'm wondering.
Like right. I mean, but that's the thing, like they are out there, but maybe they're not in the same places as you because you're not in the places that's going to have high intentionality men. I don't know where you are, but yeah, I would say to the pornography thing, definitely have conversations about it because pornography is not like an indicator that a person is a bad person. Pornography is an indicator that there's something missing in someone's soul and that someone is looking for something, some meaning, some wholeness, and the way that they found that is through pornography. And again, that is a God-given like desire of the heart, is to have that sexual fulfillment. And so that is not a bad thing. It has just been met by an unhealthy thing. And so realizing that like just like anything else, just like, there's lying doesn't make you like an unlovable person, an unsavable person, but how do we come back from lying or pornography or gambling or different addictions? Like how are we choosing to move away from those things? And so I would say I understand the thought behind, oh, every guy's addicted to porn, but just kind of be open to having conversations because the more shame around pornography, the harder it is to talk about it.
Come forward about it.
Yeah. And so there might be a lot of guys struggling with that, but make a safe space to talk about pornography. I would say try and do like same sex talks. Like you don't need to be talking to guys about pornography and guys don't need to be talking to girls about pornography, but find a mentor and talk to them.
Yeah.
Find someone that you are able to like, even as a girl, like, hey, like I need some advice. Like I have this guy that I'm seeing, he's like watching a lot of pornography and like I don't really know what to say about it and I don't really know what to do about it. Find a trusted person that you can go to and get advice from.
Yeah.
Because that is heavy and like you do need probably help going through that because again, you have all those chemicals going off in your brain and you're thinking to yourself, man, I really like this person. I'm really like gelling with them, but there's this thing and you don't want to overlook it, but you don't want to judge it and condemn it, but you do need to kind of deal with it in a healthy way.
Yeah, for sure. That's awesome. Here's one I'm very interested in. I feel like we always talk about like red flags, like that's a red flag, like don't do that or don't date that person. But what are some important green flags in a relationship that like something we should look for and like actually seek out in a relationship?
That's good. I would say some of my top green flags are someone who is humble, like they have the ability to admit that they're wrong. I would say another green flag is someone who's not afraid to lead, but understands the dynamic of servant leadership isn't kind of like that demanding, I have to be in charge, but just understands that, you know, someone does need to be in charge and someone does need to be leading the relationship in a certain direction.
Yeah.
I would say just as a general principle, a green flag, whether it's for like a guy or a girl, just having that, you know, same value set. Like if you're a Christian, is that person a Christian? Like those are things that are going to help you sustain a relationship and go deeper in your relationships and help you see more green flags because you'll have those same value sets.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, other green flags. I mean, being able to have like be honoring, honest, and humble. I think those are like my biggest ones is like if you have those, you're probably going to be able to deal with a lot of the other ones. If you're like genuinely honest, genuinely humble, and genuinely did I already say humble, honest?
I think so, yeah.
I don't remember the other H. But yeah, if you have those things, I think, and you're genuine about them, I think you'll be able to get over like a lot of things.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about to sneeze, I think. I can't tell. No, I guess not. Anyways, okay.
Uh-huh.
Those are kind of the same question. Okay, here's a very common one for girls.
Mm-hmm.
How long should you be talking before you officially start to date?
Talking.
This is your favorite word, isn't
Honestly,
it?
I'm going to ask you a question back. Okay, define talking.
Oh, no, I hate this question. I would say talking is in between. I always say this wrong. Everyone always judges me for my definition, but I would say talking is where you're having conversation with the intent of dating in the future, or seeing if that would even be a person you would want to date, I would say.
So like you're testing.
Yeah,
you're
sort
testing
of testing
the person.
waters, yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna ask you questions now.
Oh no.
So this is that's your definition of talking, then what's your definition of dating?
Dating is intentionally hanging out with a person one-on-one with the intention of getting to know each other better and seeing if that's a person you'd want to marry.
Okay. And then what are the key differences between talking and dating in those?
Talking is seeing if you want to date. Dating is seeing if you want to get married.
Okay. So that's the biggest difference is one of them is do we want to move into a more serious relationship where we are actually looking towards getting married? Okay. I can respect that. Okay. So now we've established what talking is.
So like I feel like this person's like, how long should we be texting before we like start dating or before he asks me out? Like maybe you could take it from a guy's perspective. Like how long should I be seeking this girl out before I like ask her to go on a date?
Yeah.
Or do you think they should just like ask her out and see how it goes?
Yeah.
Because I have different ends of the spectrum. Like I have a friend who was talking to a guy for a really long time, like for like 2 months. And I guess it's not too long, but they were talking for like 2 months and then he asked her out. And then my best friend just got asked out after he saw her, thought she was cute and asked her out. Like, so what do you think is like the better, not better way, but the more efficient way to do that?
Yeah. So that's an interesting thought process because you're right. There's this spectrum and it's not like, oh, I know immediately or I have to take forever to get to know. Like, I think you really do need to gauge who you are and who the other person is. And so like, I mean, I would say the talking stage is silly. You either know you want to date this person or you don't because the best relationships come from friendships. And so I would say your talking stage is being a friend, like, you know, so you're getting to know this person as a friend. And then that's when, you know, I'll talk for myself. So when I was getting to know my husband, I had absolutely no desire to be in a relationship with him. I just thought he was a fun person.
Yeah.
We were getting to know each other. We were friends. And then like all of the sudden, like just random day, there was just this click. And I was like, oh man, I could see myself being with you. And there was different reasons why, like he was showing me who he was. And I was like, wow, green flag, green flag, green flag. And so that's where I mean, pretty much after that, we started dating and all that stuff. But like,
And he asked you out first and like started that. Okay.
yeah, he asked me out. Oh, actually, you know what? He kind of didn't, kind of did, but yeah. So I guess I'll tell a little story. But he like we were texting. You'd probably call it talking.
Whoa.
Right, I know. Whoa. So we were texting, and I was out of town for a wedding, and he was like, he had asked me something like, oh, I'll call you if you admit that you like me. Haha. Like, you know, flirty. And I was like, okay, well, you can call me. And he was like, I know, right? And he was like, oh no, you just don't joke with me. This is not funny. Like, I'm being serious. And I was like, I'm being serious too. You can call me. And so he like kind of freak out moment. He was like, oh my gosh.
He's like, oh my gosh,
you like me?
I could call her. Oh my gosh.
It was very, very middle school. But anywho, so that, whatever. But yeah, very quickly, I mean, there was not a lot of like, oh, what are we going to be doing? We pretty much
hate
moved
the what
quickly.
are we? It's so annoying.
I do too. And again, I think that just stems from this fear of rejection, the fear of like, this is a high risk. Like, we've seen many people get divorced and get, you know, have these marriages that are supposed to last forever, and they end up tearing families apart. And so there's a high risk involved with relationship, which makes sense why people are hesitant to get in them and stay in them. So I would say, you know, the talking stage, that's, I think you're describing becoming a friend with someone. And then, you know, as a guy, like, I don't have a perfect formula, but I would say don't be afraid. Like, you either rip the Band-Aid off now or later, and you're going to be able to find, if someone says no to you, you don't want to wait 4.5 months, 4.5 years talking to someone to realize
it's not going to go anywhere.
It's not going to go anywhere. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not saying move fast and ask her out and then the next day ask her to marry you. Of course not. But like, there's discretion. But I would say have a little bit less nervousness and have a little bit more boldness. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy, but I'm like,
I don't think
talking
so.
is a no-go. But yeah.
You heard it here first. That's all I gotta say. So what are some warning signs in a relationship? Like, there's this thing that he's doing. Like, what are some? Better question. What are some actual warning signs? Like, maybe I just don't like this about this person. What are actually some, I guess, red flags that you would say are good warning signs?
That's a good differentiator, because I think there are things that are preferences and there are things that are actual like warning signs.
Yeah.
So your preference, like, I may prefer to travel a lot and you may prefer not to. That doesn't make you a bad person or a bad partner. It just means we're probably not compatible.
Yeah.
Whereas there are things about like someone's nature and character that would be like warning signs to everyone, and like, hey, you might want to pursue help with that. But yeah, like
pursue help is crazy.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's something going on with that. I mean, if they are, one of them I would say is like, if they are portraying themselves as one thing, like whether it's online or in front of other people, and then like when you're one-on-one they're completely different, that's like a pretty big warning sign. Like, I would say that's like they either have something where they feel like they have to project this person over here, and then like they only feel safe with you, which a lot of girls are like, oh, he feels safe with me, that's so wonderful. No, been there, done that. Not good. Not a good environment for a healthy relationship. So I would say if they have any kind of like duplicity where they're one way in public and they're another way with just you, that's a potential big warning sign. I would say if they have some kind of addiction, and that can include all sorts of things. And this goes for girls too. Like, girls are absolutely addicted to social media and addicted like to spending money and shopping. And like, we have addictions as well. But any kind of like addiction that they cannot get over, and like not just like I scroll on my phone for a couple hours, like I'm addicted to social media, ha 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 ha, but like something that they literally like, it controls their life. Like, they can't go 2 seconds without looking at their phone, or they can't go like 5 minutes without playing video games, or they can't go 4 seconds without alcohol, like something that has like control of their life, to the point where they are beholden unto it. I would say that's probably another big warning sign. And then I think like the duplicitousness is kind of goes with like cheating and,
Yeah.
you know, keeping you isolated from people. Are there the ones that you've seen that you think are big ones that to look for, like warning signs?
I'm trying to think. Like, I'm trying to think of things that I've seen because I'm not in a relationship. I've only been on like 2 dates. But I'm trying to think of like things in my friends that I've seen that I'm like, you should stay away from that. One thing that I've noticed is constantly having to touch each other. And it's not just like inappropriate, it's like always having to hold your hand or always having to be like right next to you and always spending time with that person. Like, a big thing that I see is when your boyfriend or girlfriend only wants to spend time with you and doesn't let you spend time with your friends. So it kind of goes to isolation. Yeah. Because you're not getting any other input from other people about your relationship. You're not seeing how they're interacting with other people. So you're only seeing how he's interacting with you. So you can't see that other side if they have another side of them. Yeah. I feel like that's just a really big one. It's just the isolation and always touching each other. Because they have to be by your side 24/7. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like those are 2 big ones at least I've seen in my personal life.
Yeah, I think that goes along too. I was thinking like controlling. If they're like very controlling, that could be a big warning sign. But yeah, those are kind of the ones that
the big ones
I could think of. Yeah, I'm obviously there are more, but like just off the cuff, those are some good ones I could think of.
Yeah. So this is one that I actually have. I've seen a friend of mine who's in a relationship, and she really likes the guy. He's so sweet to her, treating her so well. But he's kind of newer in his faith, so I would say she's a little bit more far along than he is. Yeah. So my question is, how important is it to be equally yoked as a 16, 17-year-old? Because like we're gonna grow, we're gonna change. Yeah. But how is it important? How important is it to be initially?
Well, I mean, yeah, initially that's a good question. I think you always think, well, right now is like not as important as like when I'm older, you know, as when I get older, I can have these other things that, you know, it's obviously important when I'm in my 20s and my 30s and my 40s to be equally yoked. But the patterns you establish now will stay with you forever. And so if you're okay right now with someone that's, you know, and not to say that this person isn't a good person or even isn't even trying to get stronger in their faith, but if having a strong spiritual leader is important to you, why are you dating someone who's not a strong spiritual leader? If that's something that you would say is like a non-negotiable, then why are you negotiating with yourself on it?
That's really good.
So that's what I would say. Like, again, you might think to yourself, well, I'm only 16. It doesn't matter. Right. But you're setting yourself up for heartbreak. And you're setting yourself up to say, well, if I don't like it, then I don't have to keep going. Or whenever something gets hard, I'll break up with them. Or I'm going to enter into a romantic relationship with no future. That's telling your brain something you don't want to tell it. Like you want your brain to think relationships are solid. Relationships are secure. Relationships last for a long time. So, I mean, and again, you can absolutely like date someone in high school, and we work with a lot of people actually that are high school sweethearts. They started dating in high school and got married and are staying together forever.
My parents were high school sweethearts.
Yeah, so like it is possible, but like, is it realistic? So I ask a lot of like when I worked with middle school and high school girls, I would ask them like, do you want to date someone in high school and marry them? Like, is that what you want? Do you want to marry the person that you date in high school? And a lot of them are like, well, no. Okay, well then why are you dating?
School, yeah,
why are you dating in high school? Because like we just established, like dating is intentional. Like we're not dating for fun. A lot of the world does, absolutely, and we don't want to be lonely. Loneliness is awful, of course, right? And it is a good desire to want to be in relationship. But are you turning that good desire into something that is just, I want to feel good right now and I don't care about later? I'll worry about getting married when I'm 20, when I'm 30. I'll worry about finding a good guy later. Are you setting yourself up for a good relationship, a good marriage with that in mind? And you could be. I'm not saying there's no way that you can and that people who've dated, you know, hundreds of people can't have happy marriages. But your brain likes patterns, and if you set your pattern up for when it gets hard or when it gets uncomfortable, or I'll just dump him when I'm ready to actually find someone I care about and love, then your brain is going to see relationships that
Yeah.
they just end. I don't need to be
mindset.
right. I don't need to be my total complete self with them because that's not safe, because it's going to end. And yeah, so as harmless as it seems, your brain is an incredible pattern detector, and it likes patterns, and it wants to stay in those patterns even when those patterns are bad for you. It would rather stay in a bad pattern than learn a healthy pattern. So just realize that your brain is super powerful, and what are you training your brain to do?
Yeah. Okay. This is a very common one with my friends.
Okay.
So I feel like, especially in my generation, dating is not as cool anymore. We were kind of talking about how just casual, like, oh, we're just hanging out.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how it has been, at least in my personal experience. Very just like casual, like, do you want to go hang out?
Yeah.
Do you think it's bad to just go on a date? Like, if someone actually asks you out and you're like, I don't really know this person.
Yeah.
Or like, I feel like dating has been, let me phrase this properly. Dating has been looked at as something very serious and very hardcore. Like, if I go on this one date, I have to keep dating this person. Is it okay just to go on a date if somebody asks you out?
Well, let me ask you, what would be the negatives of going on a date if someone asks you out? Like, what is it, your mindset that would make you scared of that?
I feel like it goes through my mind is people just looking at you and me like, you're just a bop. Like, you're just going from guy to guy to guy. Because that's so common. Like, you've gone on dates with 2 different guys already. Like, I feel like it's looked down upon. And do you think you know why that is? Like, everyone's like, you went on a date with this person and you didn't continue it? Or like, you know what I'm saying?
Right. So maybe it's like a fear of being seen as like flippant, and like you don't want to like commit to someone. I mean, there's all kinds of thoughts and all kinds of, judgment that can come from all kinds of people. But at the end of the day, what does it matter? What does it matter if you went on a date with 45 guys? Like,
that's a lot of people.
I know, it's a lot of guys. And of course, you have the question of, okay, well, what's going on? But I mean,
what's going on? So, that's another seek help kind of moment.
Right. And so like, you're asking, like, is it a big deal to say yes to a guy going on a date? I would say if you are going to go on a date with someone, then I would want you to have feelings for that person. I would want you to say, okay, I could see myself being in a real relationship with this person. Because you have people that are just going to be saying yes to everyone to say, okay, well, I'm not alone. Yeah. And so, of course, we have, what is it? Pursue help potentially on that one. So
we should have like 3 different categories. Like,
pursue help. Okay. That's a red flag. Yeah. But I mean, I would say you're allowing, again, something that is potentially going to be judgy to stop you from doing something real.
Yeah.
Like, what's the harm in calling what you did last night a date? Why is that bad? Why would that be a bad thing?
Bad. But I feel like, in my opinion, it wasn't introduced as a date, and it wasn't clarified to be a date. So his intentions were not clear. It was just like, hey, do you want to go get ice cream? And I'm always down for ice cream. Like, don't play. But there wasn't much like, hey, this is my intention with you. Yeah. I have feelings for you. I would like to pursue you in this way. Yeah. And there wasn't like a, okay, see you next time. It was just kind of like a, right. Which is fine. Like, it was totally okay. But there wasn't much like, so like, what do you want to do? What are like, not very date like vibes were coming off of it. Yeah. I guess I could call it a date, but it just didn't feel very date like to me. Well, and the intentions weren't clear, which I think was another big thing that bothered me.
So when you hear someone say, oh, you went on a date last night, like, what's the immediate, like, why are you, I know you said it wasn't intentional, he didn't really ask you, but like, what's the immediate defensiveness against calling it a date?
Because it's not going to go anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe like, oh, I went on a date with this person and I went on a date with this person. Like, I guess I don't want people to see me differently, which is like, that's not why I should be thinking these things.
Right. But that's a reality. Like, a lot of people think that way. Like, oh, I don't want to be seen as that. But I mean, okay, then on the opposite side of the whole coin, like, you went on a one-on-one with a boy. What did you think it was?
Last night.
Yeah. But what did you think it was?
I don't know, like, just hanging out.
But you're laughing because you know it wasn't. I mean, as much as like the world wants to tell us like, oh, girls and guys can be friends and it's not a big deal.
No,
like
they
can't. Like, and it's not because guys are bad and girls are good, or girls are bad and guys are good, or whatever. It's just we are designed with an attraction. And like, as much as I want to have like a friend, it would be so awkward for me as a married woman to have a male friend that I go see and just have lunch with and hang out with without my husband. Why is that weird if we can just be friends with guys? Or why would it be weird if for my husband to go to lunch one-on-one with a girl without me? Like, it's like ingrained in us. We know that that's inappropriate because not because my husband's going to do anything with her on that lunch, but that's like, oh, you're going one-on-one with her?
Like, why are you doing that? What's your
right.
intention?
What's your intention?
Men, what's your intention? Make it clear.
Yeah, I think like our biggest issue today is not that like, oh, we're dating too many people or we're not dating enough people. I think we just don't know how to date. And there is no there's no definition for anything. Everything is up to the person that is looking at the relationship. Like, I get to define what talking is. I get to define what dating is. I get to define what sex is. I get to define, and there's no universal truth. And so we're living in a world with no universal truth, no universal this is this is that is that. Like, so we have to make it up as we go, and no wonder people are confused because everything is confusing, you know?
Everyone's making up their own things. Like, there's
not
a definitive, this is what this is.
Right.
This is what this is, and this is why you're now at this stage and not at this stage.
Exactly.
So like, oh, I'm not dating. Definitely didn't go on a date last night. Like,
yeah, right. But again, like, I mean, to me, it's like, oh, of course you went on a date last night. You went one-on-one with a guy. But that's my definition of going on a date.
Yeah, that's
your
what
definition,
it should be. That's what it should be.
Should is a word that doesn't exist,
So
right?
true.
What it is there is just no commonality for relationships today. And so that's where we just kind of need to, as a society, be okay with putting a definition on things and putting labels on things. And it's not the end of the world to call someone your boyfriend or your girlfriend or to go on a date, you know? So we need to come back to having realistic expectations and definitions for things, because without them, we're just kind of living in chaos and nobody knows what's happening.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. That's all the questions I have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.